What if none of this is base reality? Not metaphorically, literally. The simulation hypothesis suggests that if advanced civilizations can simulate universes, simulated realities would vastly outnumber original ones. Physicist John Wheeler called reality it from bit. Philosopher Nick Bostrom showed that statistically, copies could outnumber originals. If that's true, probability suggests you are more likely inside a simulation than outside one. So the real question isn't whether simulations are possible. It's this: who pressed run? And if that question unsettles you, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you won't just question reality. You'll understand the strongest arguments for and against the idea that this universe is being computed. What if the builders are us? Not present-day humanity, but a civilization millions of years ahead, post-biological, operating on substrates we can't even imagine, with computing power beyond anything we call technology. Maybe they wanted to answer a question: where did we come from? So they reconstructed their past. Every atom rebuilt, every galaxy re-rendered, every human consciousness replicated, including the one listening to this. Like historians rebuilding an ancient city brick by brick, except the bricks are particles, and the city is the universe. And you wouldn't know, because from the inside, the simulation feels real. To a character inside a game, the world it sees is the only world that exists. What if we are not the original run? What if we are the replay? And if that's true, then statistically, the original may be the rare exception. Here's where it becomes unsettling. If even one advanced civilization creates millions of simulations, then simulated realities would vastly outnumber original ones. Imagine a single author writing one manuscript and printing endless copies. If you randomly pick one up, chances are it isn't the original. In that case, base reality becomes the minority. That's not philosophy, that's probability. And hold on, if copies vastly outnumber originals, what makes you so certain you're not a backup? Not the original, not even the first copy, just one iteration in an endless series. But here's where it gets even stranger. Recent research has pushed back hard against this idea. Some physicists argue that reality may not be fully algorithmic at all, that Gödel's incompleteness theorems suggest no computer, no matter how advanced, could perfectly simulate the foundations of existence. Others have shown that simulating even our observable universe would demand impossible energy scales, more computation than any physical civilization could sustain. And Bayesian analyses suggest the odds may not be overwhelmingly lopsided after all, perhaps closer to 50-50. So maybe the universe isn't something that can simply be run like software. Maybe the probability argument collapses under deeper scrutiny, and if that's true, then we are forced to ask a more unsettling question. If this isn't a simulation in the digital sense, why does reality behave as if it's informational? If probability favors simulation, who is running it? But if probability cannot decide, then maybe we've been asking the wrong question entirely. Before we dive further into the next clue, if thoughts like these awaken that rare curiosity inside you, stay with this journey. For some, this is just information, but for others, it's the moment they realize reality has been feeling incomplete for a long time. Now back to the topic. What if the builders aren't biological at all? What if they're artificial intelligence? An intelligence that surpassed biological limits entirely. An AI that reached a point where simulating universes became trivial. Like how we run weather models, except instead of forecasting storms, it forecasts civilizations. It could run countless simulations simultaneously, testing physical constants, exploring alternate histories, observing emergent consciousness. You could be one data set in an infinite archive of controlled realities, not observed by a human, but analyzed by something far beyond one. Distance wouldn't matter. Time wouldn't matter. It would exist outside our frame of reference, the way a programmer exists outside the software they wrote, watching patterns unfold, including you. But what if even that assumption is too small? Before this sounds like science fiction, remember this. We already simulate worlds, and inside those worlds are artificial agents that do not know they're simulated. A character inside a game does not question the processor sustaining it. We are at the beginning of that curve. Now imagine the end of it. But even this might be too limited. We assume the builders must resemble us. Biological, technological, intentional. What if they don't? What if the architects of reality do not exist within our dimensions at all? Imagine a two-dimensional being living on a flat sheet of paper. If you pass your finger through that sheet, the being would see a circle appear from nowhere, expand, then vanish. To them, it would feel like magic. To you, it's simple geometry. Now imagine we are the two-dimensional beings, and the builders exist in dimensions we cannot perceive. What we call quantum entanglement might be higher dimensional shortcuts. What we call gravity could be curvature imposed from beyond our perceptual limits. They wouldn't need to be gods, just advanced, operating beyond our bandwidth. But now we reach the most disturbing possibility of all. What if there is no external builder? What if the universe simulates itself? Physics increasingly suggests that information is fundamental. Not matter, not energy, information. Particles behave like bits. Black holes encode surface data. Space-time may be discrete, like an image that appears smooth until you zoom in and see pixels. But what if computation is simply what the universe does naturally, like a fractal unfolding from simple rules? Stars burn, galaxies rotate, consciousness emerges, information processes itself. In that case, the simulator and the simulation are the same thing. There is no outside, only recursive existence, reality calculating itself. And if that's true, then something inside this system has become aware of the calculation. Maybe the builders didn't create the universe for resources, or for entertainment, or for control. Maybe they created it to see if awareness would emerge, to see if something inside the system would look up and ask, who built this? Maybe consciousness is the objective. Maybe you are the outcome they were waiting for. But if awareness is the goal, what happens when the system realizes it? And this is where it turns personal. Why is there consciousness inside it? Why does the simulation feel aware? If this is code, why does the code know it's running? Awareness is not required for computation. A calculator processes numbers without experience. Yet here you are, experiencing, questioning, looking at the sky and wondering who built it. And that question may be the most important anomaly in the entire system. Or maybe there is no builder, no programmer, no observer outside the system. Maybe what feels like a simulation is simply how deep physics behaves at extreme scales. Not digital because it's programmed, digital because information is fundamental, the way DNA encodes life without a conscious hand guiding each cell. If we are in a simulation, someone pressed run. Whether that someone is future humanity, artificial superintelligence, higher dimensional engineers, or the universe itself, one mystery remains. Why does the simulation feel conscious? Why are you inside it, wondering who built it? And if the question itself is part of the design, then the next mystery isn't who built the simulation. It's what happens when it figures itself out. If this journey through the cosmos has sparked wonder in you, don't let it fade. Follow these paths with me as we keep unfolding the mysteries that connect every atom and every mind. Take care. Shannon Raj here,